customers and to our internal service, sales, and install teams in the form of, for customers, I'm responsible for all of our monitoring centers. We monitor fire alarms and burglar alarms. I do centralized service dispatch, scheduling and dispatch. We also provide operational excellence, or Six Sigma process improvement, business intelligence, and customer experience. So in all that, one of the things that we always look at is how do we benefit the customer over time and how we use technology.
Right.
And a great example of that is our false alarm reduction process and solution that we have for customers today. So using machine learning and looking at all of the different alarms that we get coming in from customer sites, we can aggregate all of that and provide customers with insights into why those alarms are occurring, why they're generating false alarms and ultimately false alarm fines, and allow them to make business decisions to change either processes or practices, or get technology service to eliminate or greatly minimize false alarms.
Now, I would not have thought of machine learning and alarms, but it makes perfect sense. Now, have you heard that local alarm provider in my neighborhood? Call these guys, right? Because I get alarms going off all the time. Some critter goes by, the camera goes off, the alarm goes off. And I'm going to play devil's advocate. How accurate is it? I know it can be done, but are we at the point where we have enough data to say, you know what? Every day at 2 o'clock, or every week at 2 o'clock, if this goes off, it's probably the squirrel or something, right? I mean, we're there.
It's very accurate, actually. Right. And the types of things that we see, I'll give you a perfect example. We'll see a false alarm fine that we dispatch the police multiple times a month,
right,
and all false alarms. We go back and we can actually show the customer the reason we dispatched at this location is because we called your call list and nobody responded.
So you identified the problem. Oh, wow.
And then the customer can actually see, okay, who's on the call list?
Yeah.
I said, all 3 of those people left the company 2 months ago.
Yeah.
And they can actually easily go in and update the call list right in the application. And problem
It's brilliant.
solved. Yeah.
Well, I'll tell you, I literally got a phone call from an employer I worked for 9 years ago. Yeah. Oh, I got an alarm at the business. I haven't worked there for 9 years, buddy. They hadn't updated their list. Yep. Wow, that's brilliant. Yep. Very, very good.
Yep. No. And we look at other things like fail to close or fail to open.
Right.
And typically we can show the customer when that happens, and it's really just changing the window of time.
Yeah.
When that alarm would go off, and we solve.
And those alarms equal money. I mean, depending on what jurisdiction, you could be talking hundreds of dollars a year for false alarms. Mm-hmm. And of course, more importantly, the money is the safety.
Yep.
Right, cry wolf.
Right.
It's a real alarm.
Or it's also, just the protection of assets.
Right.
We can show the customer as well. They can look at let's say it's a national company and they have a bunch of stores, and we can show them the hours that the store was armed. Okay, and if the stores are supposed to be armed at a particular amount of time,
right,
a number of hours each day, we can show them stores that aren't armed during those period of times. And we have one example where a customer saw this store is like been armed 1 hour over the last week. What's going on?
Only 1 hour total.
Yeah, total.
That's a problem.
Or not armed at all.
Yeah.
And they go back and they see that the manager of that store left, the supervisor of that store left. So the people in the store, no one had the code.
Oh man! And they didn't call anybody. They just said, "Hey."
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
So the store's not armed.
Wow.
So those insights, which when we think about it, that should be fairly obvious stuff.
It should be,
but
right?
when you have thousands of stores,
and
you don't have all this information aggregated, it's hard to see the exceptions.
Boy, Johnson Controls again, a game changer, fantastic. Now, I'll be very impressed if you remember your booth number.
Our booth number is 703.
Bingo! Look at that, fantastic. Back in a minute here at GSX 2019 in Chicago with Chuck Harold and SecurityGuideTV.com and ASISTV.org. My friend, thank you very much.
Thank you.
Good to see you.
Good to see you.
Back in a minute.